Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Filterless podcast, a podcast where we talk about whatever the fuck we want to talk about, however the fuck we want to talk about it. My name is Cat, or Catatonic if you come from YouTube, and I am joined, as always, by my lovely co-host, AceofShame.
Po Buddy's Nerfic, everyone. But I'm pretty damn close.
And because today is an odd number episode, the first episode of Filterless, we are joined by a guest host, Luna.
Bonjour, je suis très fatigué.
Anyone got a translator?
Español.
Anyone got the subtitles?
We get the subtitles.
Subtitles on a. Oh man, I hope I don't blow an ear, mess up anyone.
Fine.
That was a little higher than I thought it would be.
It's alright. Anyways, today on the Filterless podcast, our topic is times we almost fucking died. But before we actually get into the brunt of it, I guess you could say, how's everyone doing today?
I'm well. I had Subway, but I had to wait an hour for it because there's only one person working.
Oh no, the food problems again.
I'm cursed, okay? Even when I order ahead, I still have to wait.
Yeah,
It's sad.
I'm just tired, man. As I said in French, I'm just tired, man.
We need to do an episode that's
in French?
No, not in French. I can't speak French. But we need to do an episode in the near future of just like delivery service mishaps.
Oh, I could fill the whole slot.
Oh no.
It'll be like Distractables Bob's Fridge, but just Ace's delivery mishaps.
Fridge, Bob.
That's what happens, I guess, when I don't tip enough on DoorDash, even though I tip like $6. Even if it's like 2.2 miles away from me.
That's, yeah.
But yeah, that was my day. And then I went swimming for exercise reasons.
That's
Man,
fair.
I wish I could swim. I can
Still
swim.
don't know how to swim?
So I know I can swim. I know how to swim. I'm saying that I wish I could go swimming right now.
It's kind of nice. My grandmother has like a pool dug into her backyard, so I just go visit her and get to swim for free.
Is that the same pool that from last time?
It is. It is the same pool.
The same pool from what?
Then we'll get to it.
Oh.
From a different universe, you know.
Yeah.
One that collapsed on itself or something. I don't know, canon events and all that jazz.
Canon events.
I have that as a soundbite on my phone. It's great. Like the 29.9 theme. It's great.
I'm gay for you, Spider-Man, and you're gay for me.
That's not from the movie.
It is from the movie.
They didn't say that in the movie.
I don't know. You haven't seen the movie. There's two versions of the movie.
Yeah, there's like so many different versions of the movie.
Spider-Man, why are you gay for that guy? I'm not. He's talking stupid.
Anyways,
I've seen that scene.
See?
Okay,
it's in the movie.
Spider-Man across the Spider-Verse on Pornhub.
I mean,
watch Miles Morales fill spots holes.
Oh.
Okay.
You made it so much worse.
No, you're right. Oh God, I've made it. There's been a severe lapse in judgment.
Pedophilia.
Anyways, as for the rest
Cuts
of
that
the
part
outline,
out.
No, I'm not cutting that out. This is filterless. What do you mean?
I mean,
literally nothing gets cut except for dead air.
Yeah, I don't know who killed him, but someone killed Air.
Krill yourself.
Okay. Anyways, on to the next thing on the docket. Quick disturbing fun fact from me.
Yep.
Did you know that spiders have clear blood?
Why?
I feel like I've heard that, but I was like, oh, that doesn't make any sense, so I'll just ignore that. But now I'm starting to think about it.
It might.
Here's another one. Here's another one that I don't want to save because it's really fucked up and I just now saw it. Exploding head syndrome causes people to hear extremely loud noises right before going to sleep.
That's
Wild.
awful. So what? They hear bombs and then they become a bomb?
Anyways.
No,
It's
wait,
like, I'm the bomb. Head explodes.
I have a disturbing fun fact that will totally date this episode, but I was wondering if I could share it.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So, did you know that if you go and buy North Atlantic salmon
Mm-hmm.
right now, you can technically eat the rich?
Oh no,
Oh,
Luna.
that's great.
Luna, I
I'm-
thought you
I'm
were
not
better than
wrong.
this.
No, I'm not.
Down with capitalism. Eat the rich.
Eat the rich.
Anyways, on the topic of the rich dying, the topic for today's episode is times we almost fucking died. Now,
Damn, who's rich here?
no one.
But you
I
said...
was gonna wait, and I was like, man, I hope someone says something. I'll be like, can I have $10? You want my cash app?
But yeah, yeah. I don't have any small talk, which is why I skipped over mine. But yes, we are going to be doing times we almost fucking died. Does anyone want to go first?
I think you
Or
should go
just-
first. You're the host.
Hey, the host.
Okay, so as these episodes are kind of laid out, we
Mhm.
each have 3 stories. We'll go back and forth telling stories. Yeah. My story 1. The time I saw hell before my eyes. Now, this
What?
is... Okay, so I used to work in fast food. I don't anymore. Got out of that shit.
Good for you.
But at Hardee's, they charbroil their burgers, right? So
Uh-oh.
you put them on a... This could be a saga that I could just call the broiler.
Oh no.
But the broiler was never cleaned correctly, and it was broken. So not only did it not get cleaned correctly, but because it was broken, it didn't get cleaned often because it was a pain in the ass to take it apart. The chain was all sorts of bent wrong and all that. But basically, you put the meat on the chain, it goes through just this pit of fire. Long story short, it's hot in there. There's been several times where that broiler has just caught on fire. And there's just like flames shooting out of the top of it, as most broilers do, I guess. But part of night shift, and I guess it is part of morning shift as well, is you're supposed to take the grease strip tray out.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
we took the tray out, and it was on fire. And my dumbass was like, nah, it's fine. I'll just spray it with water.
Oh my god, Cat.
So I put the grease strip tray into the cardboard box.
Uh-huh.
Saw, hey, it's on fire. Let me grab the squeeze bottle. Because we had a bottle next to the broiler to prevent it from catching fire for too long. Because it's in a contained area. And yeah, it is a grease fire. But you could put the fire out with the water. Not that big of a deal. So I'm like, yeah, we'll just do that. And I sprayed the fire
Uh-huh.
on the tray. And then remembered why. You're not supposed to do that. Because I got a face full of fire. It was like easily 3 foot flame, not 3 foot, 5 foot flames, because I'm 5'6".
Holy shit.
Just into my face, and I thought I fucking died. That was terrifying.
This
I-
is
That's
it.
fucked up.
I had to shave because I had patches in my facial hair that had none anymore.
You got singed.
Yeah, I also had to shave anyways, but that was more of just the reason to, you know.
So you worked in a kitchen, and they never told you not to throw water on a grease fire?
No, they never told me, but I took a culinary class. I cook on my own. I know that. I don't know why my dumbass was like, yeah, I'll just put water on it. It'll be fine.
Salt, man. Salt.
We don't have salt. Well,
Hey,
we have
Wait.
some salt, but
I was like, wait a minute. Hardee's don't have salt?
we have salt, but
They must be
the
coming
squeeze
in their
bottle was
burgers.
closer.
Is there a Hardee's nearby? I don't know why.
That-
I've never been, and I'm just wondering.
The Hardee's that you will go to will always be 100% better than the one that I worked at, because the one that I worked at was not corporate owned, and it's terrible.
They're also like called Carl's Jr. once you
Yes.
cross a certain border of the United States.
Yeah. So, yeah, I could also not only do like an entire saga of broiler stories, I could do an entire saga of the times I've lit myself on fire.
Yeah, it does happen a lot to you.
Yeah.
You're not a very
That's
good
only happened
arsonist.
to me once.
Yeah, it
Sometimes I
has
get
happened to Luna.
excommunicated.
That has happened to Luna, and that's why I invited them on to this specific episode with this specific topic. Do you want to tell that story before you tell your story?
I should have been excommunicated story?
Yeah, the one where you the church story.
Okay. So Catholics go through something called confirmation.
Mhm.
It's to like confirm yourself with the faith. I can go into detail of how fucked up that whole thing was. But we all got together one night to do some kind of candle ceremony. I wasn't paying attention the whole time, honestly. On God, probably why he tried to kill me. I don't know. But I was sitting with a friend and we were talking about the anime Black Butler. So we were talking about how hot demons were. And so we blew out our in church. We didn't know what. I was next to my dad and my aunt, who are kind of religious, and I was just talking about how hot demons were, and we blew out our candles so that we can leave. And as we were leaving, my friend vouches for me to this day. Anytime I tell the story, they're like, "No, I saw it." We both blew out our candles. It was fully off. There was no more smoke, and we started walking. And I went, and I forgot exactly what I said, but it was something along the lines of me being a little shit and saying, God can strike me down right now if this was wrong. Because I honestly wasn't religious. I was doing it to please my parents, and then and then I combusted into flames. Mostly, it was just my hair.
Holy shit!
No, the candle, yeah.
It was just my hair, but and my necklace, and it was so hot, it was like flash-wise, that the necklace that I was wearing, like, exploded off of me. Like,
Holy
it went
shit.
all over, like, the floor, and I was just kind of standing there, like, freaking out because we had to, like, pat my hair off, and my hair was mostly okay. And I just kind of stared off into the distance, and my friend's like, is God real? And, I mean, 2 minutes later, we were drinking something, and I made a joke saying he wouldn't do that twice, and then, I started choking on ice, and I had to get, like, CPR, but, like...
Holy shit!
So, the only reason I believe in God is because that shit.
Actually, I have a fire
called
story as well.
Oh no,
Let's
this is
go!
going to be the fire saga the fire saga.
So this kind of takes place in a weird point in my life where I hadn't seen my extended family for almost a year and a half, and they randomly invited me to the graduation of all my cousins. And when I get there, they're setting up a bunch of these like store-bought paper lanterns, and they want to light candles in them and send them off into the sky when it gets late at night. Lo and behold, it gets to that time, and everyone's setting up the lanterns, and they send them up into the sky. The thing is, there's this really low-hanging power cable, like, right across from where they're launching these things.
So bad.
And behind that is a massive maple tree. And this is all... Okay, so this is something I should explain that's really weird. My grandmother's house has a cemetery behind it in the backyard.
The one with the pool?
Yes! It's behind the pool.
Behind
the pool?
Yeah! Like,
Shit.
They built this big plastic white fence so you can't see it, and behind that is a big metal fence with a bunch of graves for the city founders, I believe, who are buried there. And behind that is actually the stadium for the high school's football team.
I'm
what a location.
Honestly.
Am I painting this picture well?
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah, behind the graveyard is a high school.
Yeah, basically.
I don't think I'm ever
And so that graveyard and high school had a fence separating it that was a big metal fence with barbed wire on the top.
Uh-oh.
As most high schools do.
Oh, shit.
Well, yeah.
Man,
So they sent this paper lantern into the sky. It hits the power cord, spins out, and lands at the base of a tree on the other side of the fence.
No.
So my dumb ass, being the 21 spry young man, decides to take a running leap off of the buildings back there to try to get over the fence and go stomp out that fire. My leg gets hooked in the barbed wire, it tears my jeans, and I get down, and I just go stomping on the fire, and my shoe starts to melt a little bit.
It tore my jeans and melted my shoes.
And I'm just stomping on this fire furiously, trying to make sure it doesn't cause, like, a wildfire. And I get in massive trouble for it. And all the other lanterns are flying above me. I'm like, please don't fucking fall. Please don't fucking fall. And I
Just stare up
decide...
at the sky.
I ended up fucking up my ankles really bad, though, from jumping off of that fence.
I'm glad all three of us have a fire story. It's like we bonded over this.
Yeah. We're all
Bonded over
arsonists in
catching
one
ourselves
way.
on fire.
Yeah, bonded over it. Anyways, who wants to go next for their first story?
Well, technically, we've gone in a circle now. It's your turn.
What? That's not how that works.
Yep.
No, that was the discuss part of my story.
Ah, I see. I guess I'll go next. So my
I was
story
gonna
is...
say nose goes, but I was like, no one can see each other's noses.
Yep. You don't know. Maybe I don't have a nose.
I don't
Oh,
have a
shit, you're right.
nose.
Fire incident.
It
I have a
horribly
hole where my
disfigured
nose
me.
should be. That's why I wear a mask.
Damn.
Anyways, Ace,
So-
your first story next.
So, this one is called "Ladders Are Hard to Stay On When You're Double Fisting Gatorades."
Who's Gatorades?
Don't know. Never met anyone with Gatorades.
Wild.
Welcome to Filterless. But basically, one of my second jobs, like my first independent job away from my father, I worked at Lowe's, and I was like, the bitch boy who got the carts and all that shit.
The bitch boy.
That's basically what that position is. You load heavy stuff for people, you get the carts, you clean the bathrooms, that kind of crap. Although I always managed to weasel out of cleaning the bathrooms.
You little weasel.
I am indeed a weasel. The weaselest of
Dude,
weasels.
same.
But basically, one day they were having me put up some of the inventory stock they have because I don't know if you know this about Lowe's. They have like little drink coolers in the front for all like the contractors. And they are filled with several different kinds of drinks. So they give me they point out to me where all the back stock is for this stuff and tell me to go get it and fill the coolers. So I'm like, all right, I'll do that. So I get one of those giant rolling ladders from the back and I push it up to the front.
Like one of the ones from like bookstores, like those
a little bigger than
lowers. Lowers.
Like the ones that have like a weird little landing.
Yeah, and they also have like a chain at the bottom so people
So
won't
a
walk
staircase.
up them.
Yeah.
Basically a rolling staircase. This
I
one
go
had
to
like
Lowe's
a
too
weird
much.
broken lock on it so it wouldn't sit still. The wheels kept rolling when you were trying to step on it.
That's safe.
Yeah, incredibly. We'll get to that.
It's Lowe's.
In a future episode of Filterless, stay tuned for more.
And part 1. But yeah, basically I went up that ladder and I went to get the Gatorades, and instead of just taking like one or two at a time, I just decided to take 2 or 3 boxes at a time and to like try to stack them because I was younger and I thought I could do this shit. It was like 2 or 3 boxes of 12-pack Gatorades. And as I'm stepping back onto the ladder from the shelf, which you're not supposed to step onto the shelves, by the way. That was a dumb move on my part. I
You
slip
just fall through the shelf.
and they fall into what is usually like the cage that keeps you up on the ladder. And I'm so skinny at that time, I slip through it and fall down to the ground.
Oh no.
Yeah,
Couldn't
and this
be
thing's
me.
like at least probably 6 or 7 feet up. I'm pretty high up.
Oh no.
Yeah. I managed to flip myself around and land on my ankles, and I hear a snap and a crack.
He broke his ankles. They got broken.
I
Where's
did
the
not
pop?
break them, but I tore both ligaments in them.
Oh no.
My ass, being raised in a family that did not want to take me to the doctor unless I was screaming bloody murder, was just like, it's fine. And I kept pushing carts the rest of my shift.
No.
Oh no.
I get home, and I take off my shoes, and I have the biggest swollen red and purple feet I've ever seen in my life.
Ace, you absolute moron.
Yeah,
You-
so...
You lived the slogan of those Rice Pop cereals. Snap, crackle, pop.
I am the mascot now, actually. But
It's snap, crackle, pop. Oh shit.
oh shit. So I ended up having to go to physical therapy for that for a few months, but work
And
ended up paying for
ever since then, I gained a couple pounds.
it. Yeah,
Can't
that's it.
find me slipping.
But no, my ankles are still fucked up to this day.
I'd
What did it
imagine.
say?
Holy crap.
Yeah. I'm lucky I didn't faint from the pain, honestly, because like the initial pain of the impact almost took me out, and then I was just like, oh no, I'm fine. I'm just being a wimp about it,
I'm just being a bitch.
basically.
Gotta
'Cause
pull myself up by my bootstraps.
my very religious and poor family would not want me to be in pain, so I was like, okay, I'll keep not being in pain.
I'll just pretend that it was a thing that didn't happen. It's fine.
Precisely.
Everything's okay.
But yeah, don't do that.
I feel like if something makes you go, that's not normal, that's the first sign of you needing to get something checked out.
So you're saying I should go to a psychiatric facility or something? Because
No,
I can tell you,
checked out.
I can tell you for damn sure my brain's not normal.
Me when I get cat committed.
Join us next time live when we go to asylum, mainly because we do need help,
Help!
all of us.
Filterless from an asylum.
What an
Hey, guys,
episode
we're-
that would be.
We're not
Hey,
allowed to
guys.
have our headsets on, so no
Hey
wires.
guys, it's kind of hard to hit the record button. They put me in a straitjacket.
We can only
I
have
had to do it with
wireless
my
headphones.
nose. My headphones are wireless. I'm already halfway there. Anyways,
Yeah, but
speaking of insane, paranoia is a thing, and that kind of leads into Luna's. Then he followed me.
You
But
skipped my
but-
first story, actually.
You're right, I did. There's no space, so I blended in with the topic announcement. My eye doctor is so dramatic.
Bad cat.
Yeah.
Bad cat.
I don't know if this classifies as a story where I almost died, but it felt like I was dying. For people who may know who I am streaming-wise, I stopped streaming very, suddenly.
Yeah.
The reason is because I went to an eye doctor, and she told me I might have cancer.
Holy shit.
What?
Bombshell.
Without anything. She,
Eye cancer?
no, brain cancer.
Oh, I've been there.
They brought me in.
What?
They said my eyes were really weird, and specifically one of my eyes was swelling weird. I forgot what it's called now, but it was one of those things where she said it was weird, and she was like, I think we have to look into this. Come back tomorrow morning. We'll do eye test, and then we'll have someone look at it, and we'll give you a call back. Went in the next morning, did my little test, went off and did my every day. I was even planning on streaming the next day. I
You
got,
might
a
have
call.
cancer.
I got a call, and the call was like, hey, when you get this, call me back. And I was like, oh, that's never good from a doctor.
Nope.
Yeah,
Hold on
never
one sec, I'm
good.
gonna cough really bad. Allergy seasons in Texas.
Indeed.
But
Man,
she
that
was
was
call me
the
back.
most quietest cough ever. Applaud.
I muted.
Professionalism.
It was so loud.
Anyways,
But since I missed it, I was like, crap, they're not gonna be there. So I called back immediately. And it was after hours, and she was apparently sitting at her desk waiting for the call back. And I was like, hey, this doesn't seem normal. Is everything good? Should I come in? She was like, I need you to go to your primary care doctor
I need to
and schedule an MRI.
I need you to
And I
get your
was like-
affairs in check.
And I was like, what's wrong? And she's like, I believe you may have cancer in your brain. And I was like,
Fucking eye
are
doctors,
you
man.
kidding me? I was like, really? She was like, I really hate to tell you this over the phone. I would rather you be in. But it was just so late when I saw it, and I just thought I should let you know that I think you have cancer. So
And then
I
I streamed
obviously
Mass
hung
Effect.
up. No, it was actually, I actually canceled that stream, saying that my eyes are just fucked. But I remember I was in a Walmart parking lot and I just got glasses because she sent me to get glasses. So I'm sitting there with these glasses on, sobbing my eyes out.
Aw.
Because I was like, oh shit, I'm gonna die. She's sounded pretty certain that I had cancer. And the way I explained it to my family was, it was like maybe. I was like, oh, everything's a maybe. It's all cool. It's a maybe. But I was crying myself to sleep like every night. I was canceling like every stream. I like would call my classes and be like, yeah, I'm just not gonna come in today. And I physically couldn't see. So I was like, this is like a for sure sign that like something's wrong. Because I was like actively losing like the ability to like see things.
Holy shit.
I wrote a will and I was planning to get that like taken care of. I wrote like letters. I took copies of my handwriting in case like, and because my family has a weird thing with tattoos. And then I remember actually going in for the MRI and them just kind of being like, everything's going to be okay. But like, we heard the gist of it. We're so sorry. Only for my primary care doctor to call me and say, hey, yeah, you're fine. And I was like, what? He was like, yeah, I looked at it. I have no clue what the fuck they meant by you having cancer, but like, you're good. I was like, then what the hell's wrong with my head? I was told I was dying. And they said, hey, maybe you should not go to that doctor anymore.
Yeah, maybe they don't know what they're talking about.
So I was like, cool. Turns out I just have eyelids that want to eat my eyeballs, so that's much better than the other thing.
What does that mean?
I have bacteria on my eyelids that see my eyeballs as a threat. So they're constantly trying to eat away at my eyeballs because they think it's like a foreign body.
Damn.
How do you fix that?
I have to wash my eyelids every morning with baby soap.
Oh.
You just like drop some no-tear soap in your eyes and blink a couple hundred times?
I don't, honestly. It's not as bad as you think it would be because the bacteria is just a fucking dumbass. Like, they don't do a good job. But every now and again, like, my eyes hurt a bit. They get really watery, and then I'm just like, oh shit, I probably should be washing my eyelids. And as a result, I have like a light sensitivity.
Oh.
So, and chronic dry eye is also a thing that's part of that, but I'm pretty sure that's okay. Well, it's fine. At least I don't have cancer like they told me I had.
Yeah.
They gave me like
that's terrifying.
a video.
You got,
like,
got
I have
your
a
affairs in
DVD
order too.
of my MRI scan for my brain. I went to my aunt's and my cousin's house to get to have them look at my shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because they deal with that stuff. My cousin has all types of disorders. And they made a pact that they weren't going to tell me if I had cancer or not. If it did show up, they were just going to be like, oh, everything looks okay.
Oh my god.
So you might have
Thanks,
cancer,
guys.
you just don't know.
Yeah, they would know. They would probably go around and be like, oh my god, did you hear about Luna?
They're
First
dying.
she thinks the earth is flat, now she thinks there's cancer.
A while ago, they said something about God striking them down, and then he did.
That fucker
And then
did it.
he did.
That's you like got your affairs in order and everything too. Like you. Oh,
I was sobbing. I had to delete all of it. So if something happens now, oops. I deleted all of it because it was just not good for my mental health to keep it on my computer.
Fair enough.
Oh, like the letters and shit?
Your last
I deleted
thoughts?
all of it.
Yeah.
I thought out where all my shit was going to, which is really hard. It was wild.
So you wouldn't think that would be a relatable story, but
it's relatable
to me. My eye doctor actually found what they thought was a tumor behind my eye as well in my brain.
Aren't
fuck?
your eyes also like super fucked?
Oh, my eyes are incredibly fucked, dude.
Dude,
Like,
same!
I'll be legally blind by like 35.
Oh no.
Probably also same.
My eyes aren't terribly fucked, but yeah, they're not great.
Must be nice, Cat.
Yeah, must be nice. And you still wear glasses.
Yeah, I can't see.
Mm.
I have about 6 inches of actual, like, I can see 6 inches away from my face, and that is it.
Oh, I couldn't see this monitor if I took my glasses off.
Me neither. My monitor is also, like, at least a foot away from my face.
Oh, mine's not. But anyway.
I don't have my glasses on, but I can see. So
Anyways,
my eye doctor...
tumor behind your eye.
Yeah, my eye doctor saw it when I was just going in for my annual checkup and whatever. Was like, hey, I'm going to send you to a specialist to get this looked at. I was like, oh, okay. What's going on? And he's like, why don't you leave the room? I'm going to talk to your parents for a sec. I was like, oh.
How old were you when this happened?
I think I was like 14.
Oh.
Yeah. So they would talk to my parents for like 10, 20 minutes, and my parents come out and they look like ghosts. Like the worst thing ever has happened to them. They're like, hey, we're going to actually have dinner with the pastor tonight. Did you know that? I was like, no, I didn't. Why are we doing that for? It's like, oh we'll tell you when we get there.
No reason.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And that's
Your buddies with the pastor? That's great.
Oh, my parents were, yeah. They were big suck-ups because they couldn't pay a lot in tithes.
A mood.
Yeah, I'm not a religious person, but they are incredibly religious. Like, holy shit. But basically, I go to dinner with the pastor. They tell me that the doctor says I might have a pseudo-tumor in my brain. And that I'm going to...
What does that mean?
Yeah, I have a fake tumor, basically. Just a lump on my brain.
You have an imposter on your brain.
It's just too smooth in that one area.
I've got smooth brain. I just didn't realize it. But basically, they tell me that, and that they want to pray over me at the next church thing. I'm like,
over you?
Yes. This is like the most embarrassing, horrible thing I've ever had to do, like, socially, is walk up in front of church before it started, and everyone got up out of their pews and touched my back.
I would have done so much shit for that. Oh man, my church hated me.
I was really good at pretending I gave a shit. So they were like, "Oh, we want you to live."
Well,
and you're like,
nice,
"I actually don't believe in your God." We want you to fucking die.
But I go to the specialist, I get the MRI done and all that stuff. It comes back negative, and they're all convinced they prayed away a tumor.
No.
To this day, my dad will threaten me sometimes, be like, God could always put that tumor back. I'm like, damn.
MRIs are a weird feeling. I don't know. Like, obviously you had one. But they, like, tell you, like, oh, hey, if you feel, like, a cold sensation on, like, your leg or something, because I had to get, like, dye in my brain, which is weird.
Yeah, it's weird feeling.
How do they put dye in your brain?
They put like, a...
It's like an
IV in you?
Yeah, it's an IV.
And it's like bright neon yellow. Or something like that.
MRIs suck.
Oh yeah, I thought that because the doctor was in the room when he was doing it, I don't know why, but when it like went through, they're like, don't worry about if you feel anything in your legs. And I just felt it in my legs, and I physically got up, and they're like, no! And I was like, did you just fucking touch my leg? And I got super fucking pissed at him, and then he was like, no, it's the dye, I swear. And it was so bad. But I also did think I was dying, so I was a little defensive.
Well, you were dying. Your brain was dying.
You're fearless at that point.
Yeah, at that point I was like, I'll fuck you up!
I'm taking you with me.
I was just about to say the same thing. I don't think...
Did you get a brain tumor, Cat?
I am a brain tumor.
Fair enough.
I've gotten an x-ray, not counting when I had braces. I've gotten an x-ray one time. And it was on my wrist.
X-ray.
And it was funny. MRI is like a fancy x-ray.
Basically.
Right?
Yeah.
So that's why this is relatable. Let me stretch. It's fine. But I got an x-ray on my wrist. I went to my doctor. I'm like, yeah, so I have a couple problems.
Been jacking it too hard.
Well, I had fallen on my wrist like
I think
3
my
years
internet cut out
previous,
again.
and then my wrist just stopped working.
Oh.
Like it bends now, but I can't put my hand flat, like backwards, so I can't hold things on my arm or on
That's
my wrist.
unfortunate.
I can't hold heavy things for long extended periods of time because my wrist locks up. And I told my doctor that, and then I also told her, yeah, I punched a wall the other day at work because someone pissed me off, and I think I might have broken my finger. And she's like, yeah, so we're gonna get an X-ray on the wrist. I'm like, this is a 3-year-old injury. Can we please X-ray the finger I think I may have broken? And she goes, we'll do that another time. We're going to get an X-ray on the wrist. They'll get you your results in like 3 weeks. I never got my results. To this day, don't even know what the X-ray looks like.
Damn.
So, yeah.
Well, at least I found out from my thing that A, I didn't have a tumor apparently, and also I have really bad double vision.
Yeah.
R.I.P. man.
Anyways, before we run out of time, we got... Let's go next. We're not going to go in a circle.
We're not going to go in a circle? Okay, then I'll guess I'll go. It's called
Okay.
Bonk. Wow, that's a lot of blood.
You got horny bonked.
No, it would hope not. I was like 3 years old.
Oh,
Oh shit.
Minecraft streamer.
hey. I don't stream Minecraft anymore.
But yeah, I was like, this is a pretty short story, but there was a coffee table in my house that was infamous for quite a few years because when I was 3 years old and my father was coming home from work, I guess I still cared about him. I came running through the living room and smashed my head open on that coffee table. Like it clotheslined me and blood was just drenching me head to toe. It's like you wouldn't think you'd be able to remember something like that from so long ago at such a young age. But I just remember the red, like, sheen over my eyes.
Holy crap.
Yeah, I had to have my head stapled back together.
It's like when Luna broke their skull. Have you ever seen someone bust their head open before?
No, I've only busted my head open. I haven't seen anyone else do it. No one's dumb enough to.
Yeah, so I went to a Springs
Mm-hmm.
one time, and the rocks there are obviously very slippery
Yeah.
because there's like moss
yeah.
covering
I know,
it.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
And it was a heavier set guy. His son was kind of just vibing with my little brother.
Mm-hmm.
They're not like friends, but they were just hanging out, I guess. And the dad walking towards the son to like take him like to go home
Yeah.
and slipped
Ooh.
and fell backwards, busted his head open. And this is probably the one moment that I have personally seen that's pretty much restored my faith in humanity. 4 different people went over there to see if he was okay. A 5th person went and grabbed one of their white towels to give it to him
Holy
because
shit.
he hit his head on the rocks and immediately the water was bloody.
Oh, of course. Those
So-
rocks are sharp, man.
It was a flat rock, so he didn't like get stabbed or anything. It was just
It
blunt
was
force
blunt
trauma.
force. Okay.
But the first thing he said was, "Someone grabbed my son."
Damn.
So my mom looks at my brother and goes, "Make sure he doesn't go anywhere." So my brother and the little kid are chilling. Little kid doesn't know what's going on. Ambulance comes and picks up the guy.
Leaves the kid?
He gets rushed to the hospital. I think the kid, there was another person there that was part of that family that took the kid.
Oh, okay.
Or the dad not came back, but the kid went with them. The kid got with his dad eventually, but
That's
yeah.
good.
It was like people immediately jumped to like helping him. I'm like, that's restored my faith in humanity, which was very low.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a shorter story, but it was definitely one of my closest to death, aside from, sticking car keys in outlets. I really liked doing that when I was a kid.
Did it work?
I mean,
Did you turn the house on?
once you hit those 2 wires and you can't get the key out anymore, you turn something on. I got
The
like
fast
shocked.
pass to either heaven or hell.
I got
I
shocked
almost-
a ton.
I almost blew my arm off
What, were
with
you in
an
the war?
electrical outlet.
Oh.
Like, so I made this, basically the goal was to make this, like, taser that was mounted to my arm, so if I punched someone, it tased them,
Oh my god.
Well,
right? And it worked. But the only way I had to test to see if the copper wires were in the correct place was to plug it into the wall. Because I didn't have a strong enough battery to actually test it.
Oh my god.
So I plugged it into the wall, and I'm like, oh, I'll just try it with it on my hand. And then I, like, doubled back. I'm like, I don't know if that's a good idea. I
How
should...
old were you?
11?
You were 11?
I thought
Yeah,
that was
so I'm
gonna
like-
be a higher number.
Yeah, I don't know. I was in Boy Scouts, not Cub Scouts. Maybe, like, 11, 12, 13, somewhere around there.
Okay. I was like, if
But
you
I'm
had,
like-
like, just done this, like, a week ago. I swear.
You wouldn't be surprised.
Exactly.
But, I'm like, I'll test it. I want to put it on my arm, but before I do that, I should make sure it doesn't, like, there's not two copper wires touching each other somewhere. Spoiler alert, there were.
Oh, no.
And I put it on a water bottle, because that kind of, like, simulated my arm.
Mm-hmm.
I plugged it into the wall, and it blew the water bottle up.
Holy shit.
Like, there was a hole in the water bottle. I'm like, I am glad I did not put that on my arm.
You need to stay away from the elements.
Yeah,
Um,
fucking wild.
yeah, so... Anyways, Luna, how about you go next?
The one where you spoiled the title already?
Yeah, man.
that one.
Okay, so this one's titled Then He Followed Me but Remained Hidden. I worked at a store.
I think I remember this.
Maybe?
I worked at a store nearby. I live pretty close to the small grocery store, and behind it is a like a little strip mall of like other places, and there's a specific store I worked at that
Is this recent?
like,
like-
I wasn't streaming recent.
Okay.
But it was like right before COVID, so it was like right before I started streaming.
I think I might have heard the story, but
Well, no one else has.
I know. I
We'll
know.
see.
Calm yourself.
Possibly, because I remember that it's one of the stories I like to tell because I really hated working there. The managers were pieces of shit. And after closing, after he decided to send everyone home early besides me, who was closing,
Oh, what a bitch.
yeah, he locked up the door while someone was approaching us because we live near a highway intersection. So every now and again, there's like some homeless who live or sleep nearby. So this guy was just walking straight up to specifically me, and I was like, hey, how about, can you walk me to my car? And he's already halfway gone, like, by the time I turn around. And I was like, excuse me. And he was like, no, you'll be fine. I'll see you tomorrow. And he gets in his
You might
car
not.
while this guy's approaching me. And I'm starting to fast run to my car that's across the parking lot. Because it was a busy day, so everything was filled. And so my fucking boss drives off in a abandoned parking lot. Because there wasn't enough guests in nearby places to warrant security. So I'm running to my car. It's by itself in the middle of nowhere, and I'm just like, everywhere I turn, he's like right there. And when he noticed that he wasn't gonna catch me while I got in my car, he hopped in his, which was closer to the store. So he backtracked, got in his car, and I sped off while he was chasing after me. So I luckily know the area, and I ended up going like street by street, making sure he wasn't following me, only to prove that he was. So
Oh, no.
there was a lot of very quick turns that I took, and then I went into someone's driveway, turned off my lights, and ducked down. And I turned off my car. I was just like laying there, and I had a setting on my car that has like a feature where you can turn off the lights immediately, and I set it up, everything
For
turned
moments-
dark, and I'm just like dropped in.
For moments just like this.
Yeah, probably. And he's going like, he's lost me at this point, and he's passed by like 3 times, going like 10 miles an hour. And the sad part is I lived 5 minutes away from my work. So
Oh
it's
my
like
gosh.
I couldn't go home. I was right there, but I couldn't go home. So once he didn't pass for like a little bit, and luckily I knew this house, no one lived there. But it wasn't for sale, so it wasn't suspicious that I was in the driveway. After it's been like 30 minutes, I drive somewhere else and was like, well, thank God, like, I'll just go get food. Like, thank God I don't get a lunch or something on this, like, day. So I got food and I just waited because I was like, what, like, if he's still, like, driving around there, he's gonna recognize my car. So after, like, another hour, I finally go home and it's, like, super dark. I, like, run to my door, get inside. I had my keys prepared beforehand and I just kind of stood in my foyer. My mom's sitting on the couch, and she was like, oh, you're home late? And I was like, this motherfucking manager abandoned me! And I just went off. The next day, he was working,
terrifying.
and he made a fat joke about himself. And he's, like, the skinniest person there. Like, a lot of us were, like, overweight, and we all just stared at him. And he was like, man, I really need to lose weight. Besides, I keep hearing people say the F word, you know. Fat, and we were just staring at him like, we can choke you out right now, motherfucker.
We could kill you.
We will snap
We
you
would.
like a fucking twig.
No
That's
remorse.
terrifying.
Yeah, that's not even like the first time it happened. Like, this is, and you know, the second time.
Do you
Fucking
carry a
Barnes
weapon?
and Nobles. I carry knives now. After that, like, I
Now.
have knives.
I started
You're in
carrying
Texas. You need a firearm. You can buy one. Don't tell me you can't.
I can, but like, I would rather not.
I carry a monkey's fist.
My friend has a rhubarb pipe that he's been trying to give me for my car.
That works. Or a baseball bat.
I'm
Wait, so-
stronger than people think. Honest, like I can lift up like a 400-pound deer like it's nothing.
Jed?
So you
Dead.
I've heard that story, but it happened another time, and then more recently there was someone that was like going around breaking into cars and stuff, right? More recently?
He wasn't breaking into cars, I don't think. That's what we assume he was probably doing. Me and my sibling were at like a Barnes and Nobles that's also kind of near our house. And we were just kind of vibing. And we like exit out, and there's this guy who's walking very slow in like the little driveway area in front. And we were like, oh, weird that he's just walking like that. And I noticed that the car that he like got out of, because we saw him get out of the car and the car start driving off, turns around and parks right next to me. And I'm just staring, like I'm walking to the car and I'm seeing all of that happen, and I immediately tell my sibling, I was like, hey, get in the car as fast as you can. So I pull out
If
my
they're gonna
knife.
take one of us, it's gonna be you.
I took out my knife. I got in the car. We sat there for a second, and the guy who was driving the car, who parked next to me, was still in there. So I looked over. We make eye contact, and he quickly looks back down at his like wheel, and I was like, no, something's about to fucking happen to us if I don't do anything. So we drive
And then the
to a
Barnes and
different
Noble blew
store.
up.
We drove to a different store, actually. There was a half-price books in the same shopping center. So we went there because I was like, I don't want to go anywhere. Like, I don't want to go home. Like, we'll this is like a testing out kind of theory.
Mhm.
So we go inside. We're nervous, but we're trying to convince ourselves it's nothing until we leave, and my sibling's like, hey, Luna, he's staring at us. And I look up, and that guy who was like walking before in front of the Barnes Nobles is just standing in the parking lot staring at us as we're leaving. And I was like, well, shit. So we both get in the car as if nothing was happening, because we knew, like, at this point, if we start freaking out, they're gonna start acting on something. I drove randomly, and my sibling we're like driving down a major road, and my sibling looks over and then looks back at me, and they're next to us. And in the car next to us is them driving, and they noticed we saw them, and they slowed down, and they turned off. But I was like, well, either they know what's going on or not. And I remember I texted Kat, I texted Ross, I texted my dad. I didn't text any of my friends who live here.
You texted someone from Florida, wherever the hell Ross lives.
And I was so I don't know, all the people I texted were not from Texas or in my area at all. So great. What can they do? I got pizza because I was like, I can't go home. We drove around some more and finally got home, and the whole time when I was texting my dad, he was like, hey, if they show up again, drive them by your grandpa's house and I'll show them hell. And I was like, thank you, Dad. Thank you, Dad. He's like, I'll fucking do it. Watch me.
Do you have a really nice car or something?
No, I have the car. The first time I had a Rogue, what's it called? A Nissan Rogue. The SUV I got from my uncle when my aunt passed. And then right now I drive a Dodge Journey. Both of them. The Rogue was 2008. The Dodge Journey is 2014. So they're not nice.
I was like, no offense, they're not after anything you have. They're
and I don't
probably human traffickers.
Yeah, that's
I was about to say the same thing.
It was.
Which is when I play my favorite game, which is Castrate the Criminal.
My city is a human trafficking hub in my state.
Jeez.
We get stories all the time.
Why the fuck you stay in there?
Yeah,
because it's also one of the better cities to live. It's just you have to know where not to go, and you also never you should never go places by yourself anyway.
Nope.
And so people who were born and raised here, we're a very big community city, where we call people here call ourselves small town USA, even though we're the 7th largest city in the United States. I'll say it, I live in San Antonio, where no one's gonna find me just from that, because it's the 7th largest city in the United States, and it's.
I mean, if you want, there's a house for sale in my neighborhood.
Y'all both just need to come here. It's safe here.
As living in Florida,
they put French fries on your pizza.
They
put French fries on your pizza. Don't tell me it's safe in Virginia.
It's safe in Virginia. We have French fry pizza.
Honestly, French fry pizza sounds kind of dope, though.
If they would salt the damn fries, it would be. Damn it,
they
Cat,
don't
now you've got me started.
The fries?
At least the place I got it from didn't know how to season the damn fries, and it was dry as fuck.
Anyways.
Disgusting. I love breakfast tacos too much to leave.
You can find breakfast tacos literally
They're not the same. Don't you give me that shit.
Anyways, yeah, that's terrifying.
No, thank you. That is the one time I'm glad I was born a male.
Yeah.
Because
the thing is, I was dressed really masked that day.
So maybe it doesn't matter anymore.
Or it wasn't human trafficking, or they were just looking to cause trouble. And I picked that person.
There's been an increase in male trafficking as well. In everywhere. So they target couples.
Oh.
And they'll drug the man and knock out the woman. And they'll take them both away. The male for physical labor, and then the woman, they just depends on what they want. But I did a whole thing, and one of my professors from college was someone who would go to different countries and save people. So I know way too much information. And then another professor went missing, but we'll see.
I'm too much of a twink for physical labor.
Well,
what'd you say?
They'll get you. They'll find something else.
I also heard if you have tattoos, you're less desirable to them, visible tattoos.
Because they don't want you to get recognized.
Oh, I'm so safe.
I'm planning on getting tattoos
I'm
purely
covered.
because my sibling can't.
after Luna learned that information, they then got 2 full sleeves.
I want to.
Perfect excuse.
Oh my god, I talked about getting a blackout sleeve, and like all my friends were like, no, don't do that, because eventually you're gonna be like, man, I wish I could put something else here. And I was like, you're probably right. Like I would be like, man, I could do something so cool.
But with
Yeah.
laser removal on a blackout sleeve, you can actually add a design later on now.
Oh, that would be kind of dope.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Oops.
before we run out of time, Ace, you want to go next?
Oh, is it me again? Oh.
Yeah. My second story is just me catching myself on fire again.
Oh, you do that a lot, man.
Oh, wait, no, you already did your second story. Never mind. This is my turn.
Yay!
Okay, so it's catching on fire second time. This actually happened at school.
What
So-
the fuck?
Probably the best place for this to happen, to be completely honest. It was in a chemistry lab. We were doing,
Were you making meth?
no, we were making iron pyrite, I believe.
Oh.
Which
I
apparently
totally
can
know
make
what
in
that
a
is.
test tube. Fool's gold.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You can make it in a test tube.
Oh.
So we're like, yeah, we're making iron pyrite today. So we put all these chemicals, heat it over a Bunsen burner, and then you put, not water in it, but you put something else in it, causes yellow smoke, and then at the end of it you have a little chunk of iron pyrite.
Chemistry's cool.
Chemistry is cool, if only it didn't have math.
Yeah.
But we're doing this lab, and my lab partner was kind of that person that, like, nobody wanted to be in a group with, not because of anything specific. It's just like everyone else had their own person already, and I was the person who's like, I don't want to be in a group.
Oh, that's me.
So him and I were kind of like always like, we were lab partners because just by default, basically.
Yeah.
And this motherfucker turned the Bunsen burner on all the way
Oh,
Oh,
no.
rip.
before lighting it,
Oh, fuck.
Ooh.
not
Oh,
realizing
no.
it. We got the faulty one, so he didn't realize that it was on all the way.
What the fuck?
And
Spicy.
I go to light it, and this is, remember I told you in the beginning, I had a busted wrist, so I was wearing a wrist brace.
Yeah.
And I held the Bunsen burner because it was kind of wobbly, and I took the flint striker. I don't know if you guys know what those look like, but for people who don't, it's a relatively large circle, and you squeeze it, and it runs flint across steel, and it makes a spark.
Yeah.
I put that over the Bunsen burner, go to light it, and instead of just going up and like around the flint striker, it basically exploded,
Oh.
went down, hit the table where my wrist braced hand was, and then went around. So not only did I get my eyebrows singed, but my wrist brace caught on fire. And I immediately panicked, stepped back, shook my hand trying to get the fire out, and my chemistry teacher's eyes were like the size of dinner plates. I got the fire out and just stood there like holding my hand, and she goes, "Are you okay?" And I went, "Yeah, I'm fine." I looked down at my hand. The tops of my fingers are like sunburned.
Oh, no.
There's no hair on my knuckles.
Holy shit, man.
My wrist brace is melted. I'm like,
Ooh.
huh.
Ooh.
Do we still have to do the lab? And she goes, unfortunately, yes. I'm like, okay. Lab partner, light the Bunsen burner.
Do it again.
And then we did another lab with the Bunsen burner. I'm like, I don't want to turn that on because I got the busted one again.
Oh.
And she's like, I'll help you with it. So she helped me with it. I'm like, thank you. That was terrifying.
Cat, I just feel like in my heart, the way you are going to die is in a house fire or something.
Or just
That you've
self-inflicted
caused.
explosion.
Exactly. Like,
Yeah.
and that's just going to be considered natural causes in my mind.
Yeah. If I go out, I'm going to go out in a blaze of glory. Literally.
Might as well. It's weird how often, like in high school chemistry, people catch on fire. It shouldn't be a thing.
Well, like I said, that's probably the best place to catch on fire, though.
Yeah, they had everything to put you out.
It is.
Yeah. They got fire
It's also the
blankets.
easiest
Everyone
place
in
to
that
catch on
chemistry...
fire.
It is, but everyone else in that classroom knows how to use the fire blankets. You have like 3 of them in the room. You got the showers just in case it's a fire you can put out with a shower. They're chemical showers, so you're supposed to only do that if you're covered in a chemical.
Yeah.
But that's probably the best place to catch on fire in my book. But yeah, I caught my hand on fire. It was
Wild.
interesting. Anyways,
Mm-hmm.
I'm reading the
You trying to decide who's next based off titles?
yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I think I've heard both of your guys's from the
I mean, we had to save one.
from the past. Yeah. I didn't. This one's a new one.
Oh.
Who wants to go who wants to go first on the third story?
I'll go ahead and knock out my last one.
Okie dokie.
It is called Water is Even Harder to Breathe Upside Down. Is another short one, but it takes place at that pool that we'd all never heard of until I brought it up. That pool with the graveyard in the backyard.
So if I die, they'll just be able to just throw me over the fence.
Exactly. Precisely. Well, actually, no. I'm not rich enough to go be buried with the founders of the city. They would be very upset about that. But basically, as I am a dumbass teenager, and the rules of the pool were very simple. The kids were not supposed to be at the pool if there were no adults to watch them. Usually that rule was not a problem for me because I could just swim laps or something, don't get out of the pool, don't do anything stupid. But I had this great idea that if I put these floaties on my feet, I'd be able to walk on water.
Like Jesus.
Exactly. Because, of course, he was my idol at such a young and impressionable age. So I put the 2 floaties on my feet. They're like, stuck to my ankles as they would be. One of these kid floaties. So it ain't coming off.
They're the ones that go on like the kids' biceps, right?
Basically, it's those, yeah.
Like the stereotypical ones.
Aren't those bad for kids?
Oh, those are terrible for kids.
Okay,
They
cool.
are?
Especially if, one were to deflate, then the other is just going to drown them.
That
Yes.
mortician lady on TikTok.
Basically,
Interesting.
don't buy the cheap ones if you have kids.
Anyways, you put them on your ankles.
Yeah, I put them on my ankles like a complete dumbass. I'm going to say 7 or 8 at this time.
Mhm.
We're going to say around that age. I take a step off into the 7-foot deep end, and I invert instantly like I'm going to the fucking upside down.
Whoop!
Yeah.
It's like that scene from Pirates of the Caribbean.
That was my other analogy I was about to say. It's just
Yeah.
like the boat flipped. I
That's
cannot reach my ankles from underneath the water to get these floaties off. I am slowly losing consciousness in and out, trying to scratch at these floaties to pull them off or break them because they were so cheap, and getting nowhere. And as my vision is fading out, I hear a splash next to me, and my poor mother, in her sundress, with her phone, her sunglasses, everything, has dived into the water to drag me out. Because I guess she was
Yeah.
coming to find me to take me home.
that's
Wild.
yeah.
And somehow
Was
we
it-
still don't have a good relationship.
I was gonna say, was it like one of those experiences where you're just like, this is it.
Yeah,
This is-
basically. I was 8 years
This
old. I
is
was like,
how I die.
damn, this is it, huh? I hope Jesus
then all
is cool
8
with
years of
people
my
who drown
life.
themselves.
Jesus is cool to people who my idol. I get to go see him.
Basically.
So how'd you die? I was trying to be you.
I just wanted to be like you. I wanted you
Hey,
to be
bro,
better.
you want to be in a club? The water walking club, but you walk on the bottom part of the water.
I'm just thinking like that scene from Spider-Man Homecoming. It was like, I just wanted to be like you. I wanted you to be better.
Fucking.
Someone animate that shit. This is even perfect.
Jesus.
This is perfect because mine's also a I saw God moment involving water.
Oh, you drowned with Jesus too?
Yeah, pretty much. So the details are very fuzzy because it was more of like one of those like first of all, drowning is the worst possible way to go.
It
because
sucks.
the first thing you think of is panic.
Yep.
And you
Flailing.
start hyperventilating, you start flailing, so you start losing oxygen in your muscles. So then you start hyperventilating under the water, drawing more water into your lungs.
Mm-hmm.
Drowning, you end up killing yourself.
Yeah. You exhaust
And
yourself.
Miserable, I am sure. I've never drowned before, but it's
Sounds like
from
you
what
came
I've
damn
heard.
close.
I did.
Masochist way out.
The worst suicide.
I don't go to the beach anymore. And this was not the reason why. Main reason why is I just don't like the beach.
Don't like sand.
Like, I don't like sand. It's gritty and it gets everywhere. That's not how the thing goes.
That's not how that goes.
Close enough. I don't want to get copyrighted. The cost benefit to the beach is like, yeah, I get to have fun for an hour, but then I spend the next 3 weeks of my life nursing a sunburn and trying to clean the sand out of my asshole.
Fair enough.
So, the beach is not an enjoyable experience for me. In the moment, it's fine, but I won't go to the beach on my own. This is not the reason, though. This happened, I think, I was younger.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 10, a little younger than that.
We'll go with that.
Yeah, so my family friend, Avid's dad, had surfboards. So we were going, like, quote-unquote surfing, more of just, like, paddling out there, showing the little kids having fun type of thing.
Core memory
And-
unlocked.
Huh?
I just had a core memory unlocked when you said that. I'll get to it in a minute.
But one of the waves hit us, and the surfboard tipped, which would normally be fine if I didn't end up underneath of it.
Oh.
And then as I was trying to surface, I hit my head on the surfboard. Another wave pushed me down again. I face planted into the ocean floor.
Dude, this
So I
sounds
went
very
pretty
familiar
deep
to me.
because we were... Huh?
This is very familiar to me.
Yeah. And then I tried to surface again, and another wave pummeled me back down to the ground, and then I got pulled up by, like, someone had grabbed me and pulled me up. But that was, like, one of those moments that I'm like, oh, God. Like, holy shit, I almost... Yeah, I ate the ocean floor. I
Dude.
almost just bit the dust.
The ocean will brutalize the shit out of you.
Yeah.
Water is the harshest element.
Yes.
Like, I was probably about the same age as you, and I was on, like, a family, beach vacation, because my parents wouldn't go unless everyone went. And I
Yeah.
took a boogie board out to follow my uncle on his surfboard out to the waves, which don't take a boogie board that deep. They're not meant for that. And it was tied
Yep.
to me by, like, a rope. So I'm trying to get on top of this giant wave, and the boogie board goes flying. I'm tied to it, so I go flying, and I end up just scraping along the bottom of the beach until I get back to the shore, and I am just red, absolutely covered.
Yeah.
And I
I
was
had-
laying on that boogie board pretty much the rest of the trip.
Yeah, I had another... You unlocked a core memory for me. What happened with the surfboard? That was not the first time it happened, because it happened previously with a boogie board. Where we got one of, like, the expensive ones. It wasn't one of the shitty styrofoam ones
Yeah, that's what
that
I
you
had.
buy. They're like $5. It was like an actual, like, expensive boogie board. Had a fiberglass bottom,
Ooh.
and I was boogie boarding, and then it took me under the water, and because I was tied to it because we were borrowing it, I couldn't get back up because it got tangled. That was scary.
Kids
But
shouldn't
pretty
swim
much
in
the same
ocean.
thing that happened.
Kids should not swim in the ocean.
No
I
one should
had a
swim in the
great
ocean. The
time.
ocean's terrifying.
The worst thing that's happened to me at the ocean is that, like, I get sunburned and then, and then I have to go home. It
Never-
See,
sucks.
I'm like as white as snow, so I don't sunburn. I fry.
Damn.
There's been times where when I do apply sunscreen, I get sunburned. When I don't,
Yeah.
I get blisters.
Yup. My
So-
dad's Mexican and my mom is Scottish. And the other day we were talking about going to the beach and my dad was saying it would be fun if y'all would learn how to put on sunscreen. And I'm like, I do. And he's like, that's not true because you burn. I was like, I reapply sunscreen like every hour, sometimes even before, because it just sucks. He's like, but you get burned every time. I was like, shut your Mexican ass up, Dad. You don't burn. You
Take
don't
that out of
burn.
context.
Like I said, I'm Mexican, but like,
Yeah.
I used to not burn, like when I was younger.
And
Like
you took advantage of
definitely,
it.
I was really tan when I was younger too, so
Oh,
I
same.
looked Mexican. And then when I hit middle school, I told my parents that I wanted to be goth, and they were like, "What the fuck does that mean?"
I want to be white.
So I stopped going outside, and I ended up paling. But because I ended up paling so much, then now I definitely look more like my Scottish half.
I want to
there
be
goes
goth.
me
I'm not going
tanning.
outside anymore.
Yeah, it ruined everything. I can't tan anymore.
Damn.
And which means now, and like I used to never get sunburned. I would only get sunburned if I refused to put on sunscreen, and I would be out directly in the sun in the Texas summer. Now it's
Yeah.
I can be outside for like 10 minutes, and I'll be like, ah shit, my arm, and it's
Yeah, you can feel. I can feel the sun burning me.
You could feel that shit.
Like-
I wonder if that's because the ozone has like gotten worse.
Or I've
Oh,
just
maybe.
gotten whiter because I was already white, and then I started streaming it so I don't leave the house. So I'm like, might as well be see-through.
Fair enough.
But yeah, the
Man, I
ocean's
wish-
terrifying.
I wish my last story had something to do with the water, but
You had a fire story. All of us had a fire story. We're all linked to this one. Like, yeah, we're all
I
linked.
did have that lake story from that totally non-existent
Different timeline.
different
different
timeline.
timeline.
Not a canon
Play
event.
Not a canon event.
After Luna tells this one, I have a couple stories that I just now remember involving a car, and I almost got into car crashes
Oh, jeez.
recently.
Wild. My next story is called Dark and Abandoned, and I put in notes which one it is because I have multiple. My family owns property in Texas, South Texas, and we go hunting, and my favorite time to go hunting is the evening hunt. So because it's dark and it's cute, and you get to see that like golden hour all over like the landscape, and I spend most of my time hunting, staring at things.
I don't think I've ever heard someone say hunting was cute.
My family hunts for food, so like if we don't need food or anything, we just kind of vibe outside. It's more so like bird watching than like actually hunting. If we're all good, which in this case it was more so like bird watching. So I'm just sitting there watching animals. There was like this group of quail that came by, and they like to scream for some reason. And I came here on a 4-wheeler, ATV, and I was sitting in the blind, and we have 2 pieces of property, with my aunt's property, my great aunt's property, dead in the center of both of them. So we have to go through like a skinny road, like an easement we have with her, to get to the other property which I was on. It doesn't have a house on it. We don't have like a radio. There's like no service out there. Even on our cabin, like no service out there. So I was getting on the 4-wheeler when I hear like a growl, and I was like, that's a big, like I've heard coyotes before. They don't make that noise. I've seen bobcats
Man, I must
before.
be
They don't
hungry.
make that noise. I wish. So I'm just sitting, like I literally froze, and I was like, what the fuck? And I hear like a twig snap, and it was one of those moments where when you realize something bad's about to happen,
Everything
things start
goes
to become
dead silent.
Yeah, everything's like dead silent. You have no idea what's going on. I turned on the 4-wheeler, and I was like, what's the fastest way home? And it's up a hill, a really steep hill, which is right there, which would have been like the same side that noise was happening, but I wasn't thinking. No, it wouldn't have been the same side. Okay, not the same side. But anyway, I was going up the hill, the 4-wheeler died out, halfway up the hill. And it got stuck. So I had to figure, like, I couldn't reverse it, because I was like, it's back there somewhere, and I couldn't forward it because it's dead at this point. So I had to get off and push it up. And when you're scared, you become super strong. So I just pick it up.
Adrenaline's a hell of a drug.
So I pick it up and I re-motion it, and I hear like another growl. And at this point, I hear like the walking, and I turn around, and near the bottom of the hill is a mountain lion. And I
At
was
least
like,
it told you it was coming for you.
oh yeah, until you're looking at death in the face, something that will actively murder you, and you like when your heart rate reaches a certain point, you can't use your fingers. And I remember I have a gun on my back. I have a gun that has bullets on my back. It's a 270 deer rifle. And I remember staring at this mountain lion that's not doing anything at this point. That's just kind of watching me for a bit. And I was like, I'm leaving now. And so I just started pushing the four-wheeler like up, like while I'm facing this mountain lion. And once it's at the top of the hill, I flip around and just book it. Like turn it on and book it. Probably killed something in that four-wheeler because my cousin gave me shit. And I didn't say anything to my family. I just went home and they were like, what's wrong? I was like, oh, it's dark.
I'm scared.
And I remember getting to a point where I just couldn't drive anymore. And it's, once you hit the road, it's like a straight shot down the easement. But I remember I got to like another hill where it like stalled out again, and I just sat there. And I was like, I know, like, it didn't come after me. I would have heard it. It probably would have got me if it did. And I just remember when it stalled that second time on a completely different hill, like, far away enough where it was like, oh, I'm not scared anymore. I just kind of sat there, and I was like, I didn't know mountain lions were that big. Like, I just remember sitting there and being like, oh, my God. Like, I'm 6'2". And
you're tall.
Terrified.
Imagine my 5'6" ass out there, just like, oh, look, a snack.
And they're really pretty. Like
Oh, they're beautiful.
They're beautiful animals, but like when you're staring at one, and the only thing you could think of, because it wasn't snarling its teeth at me. It wasn't like, it didn't have like, its claws weren't one of those things where you would actively see the claws. It's just staring at the bottom of this hill, which the hill's not tall. The hill itself is maybe like 50 feet.
So your first thought wasn't steep. Kitty?
No, not like the other thing. My first thought was, my dad told me there was one out here.
Oh, okay.
So like I should like, my uncle was talking about how there was a mountain lion near him while he was like trimming trees or something, and he booked it out of there, but he didn't see it.
Would the mountain lion actually attack you, though?
From what I remember, they attack once you turn your back on them.
Yeah, once you see it, they kind of, they're making an assessment.
Yeah.
But when you turn away, they're like, I win.
You announce your prey once you turn your back on them.
That's terrifying.
I just kept on playing that video of like the mountain lion that kind of spreads out and like smacks the ground at that one guy in the park, and he's just like, no, and, like trying to smack him, and like but like, you know, after the fact. But man, but it was like dark too because I waited too long to like go home because I was having fun like in the blind, just kind of staring and being like, oh, I wonder what kind of nightlife is out here. Yeah, the answer is I shouldn't stay because there's a lake right there. What, I want to be snatched by La Llorona over there? Like, what the fuck?
The what?
La Llorona. The screaming woman. Crying woman.
Ah.
Yeah.
That.
You know, the horror movie and story.
Yeah, the horror movie. I don't
She real,
watch
man.
movies. I don't watch many movies. That's terrifying.
We should have a story where it's just like, what's your most ghost stories? Because I have so many ghost stories also.
I have a few.
I have not ghost stories, just like
unexplained
what the
things.
fuck? Yeah, I have a couple of those.
You know what's wild is that mountain lion was probably only like 20 feet. One jump and I would have died.
Oh, it wouldn't have taken much.
All I had to do was jump. So I don't know what it was thinking at that point because I did turn around. So I don't know why I didn't. I don't know if it just kind of saw me and was like,
not worth the effort.
You're a weird little thing right there.
It's like, damn, they're pretty tall.
Is that like what
they were assessing
when we spot them?
Huh?
Wow.
Wow.
What?
You're big.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Ow! Please don't eat me.
I've also almost stepped on a 6-foot rattlesnake before. It was like literally inches away from my foot, and I was just watching it move, and
Oh
it
my
didn't
gosh.
see me until after it like left, and it like went past me, and I was like, "Whew, that's why you look down when you walk, guys." And I had 3 of my not nieces, they're my cousins, but weird age difference.
Mm-hmm.
And I had my other cousin like in front of me, and like I told them to freeze because I knew that if they were to move, I would get bit.
Yeah.
But I knew the most about snakes. I was obsessed with snakes as a kid.
Snakes are
So they
cool.
would freak out while I know for a fact that a rattlesnake won't bite me. So I was just watching it, and I was just like, "Hey, buddy." And once it like got away, it was like, you know what? I'm gonna like bask in the sun. It like turned around to like get all ready, saw me, and went, "No, no, 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 no." Just started rattling. I was like, "Okay, we're good. It's gonna be a scaredy cat over there." Like,
You're gonna be a little bitch.
there he be. And it did not expect that. Like, it was like, "Oh shit!"
You blindsided it.
It blindsided me, so like revenge. But
We're even now, Snake.
rattlesnakes are cute though.
They
Yeah.
have boopable snoots.
Rattlesnakes
They're
are pretty
so
cool.
boopable.
I have never seen a snake before and gone, aw, other than a hognose.
I would say, what about a hognose? For sure,
Oh,
right?
Hognoses
yeah,
are
they're so
adorable.
Oh my gosh,
I want a
yes.
hognose so bad.
I don't think my
They're
partner would
Anywho.
let me have one.
Anyone have any like honorable mentions for stories? Just like quick ones, like Ace's bonk. That's a lot of blood.
Bonk, that's there's a second 4-wheeler story that's really short, mainly because it stalled out, and it
I
was
just dropped
me.
a butterfly knife.
I heard.
It was scary. I did hear like a tink, but I didn't know what
Yeah.
it was. We have really old vehicles, and we don't drive it as often as we should, mainly because when summer hits, you don't want to go out there. It's like 110 right now.
Yeah, Texas is miserable because it's like a dry heat.
No, it's a
Florida?
humid heat.
It's a humid heat.
It is? In Texas?
Yeah.
Yeah, we have humid heat.
Huh.
Also, prepare for it to get humider because apparently something's happening with the dew count, and Florida. And
Yeah, I
Texas are
walk
about to get
outside.
super humid.
I walk outside while it's hot. I'm like, damn, I can
Sticky.
literally breathe the air.
Yep.
Like I
Yeah,
can eat it.
You can
feel
touch
it.
Like I'm breathing water. I am Aquaman.
What? It's gonna be so bad because I was watching a news thing, and they said that the dew count's about to like triple or something.
Holy shit.
So it's about to get way more humid in like the east half of the United States.
Anyway, I'm moving to Virginia.
East half of the United States.
We're still in the east, Cat.
Yeah, but it's
No,
not
they're-
Florida.
Fair enough.
Well, yeah, but Virginia's gonna
Anyways.
be also just as bad. It's probably gonna feel like Florida for a bit.
I hope
Anyways, you don't want to go outside old vehicles.
Oh, so all of our shit breaks down all the time. So I don't know. We get out to that second part of our ranch. We call it down bottom, which shit means something. And all the roads are shitty. Since we bought it from a different uncle, he never took care of it because he was really old, and we just ended up stalling out on like the bottom of like a creek. And so we're sitting here in a washed out creek, and we're just like, it was me and like 3 of my cousins and my sibling, and I was like, so what are we gonna do? And they're like, I don't
Oh,
know. Like, do we walk back? And I was like, okay, what if we do half seats? And that's not what you should do, guys. Because their version of half seas wasn't, yes, half of us go, half of us stay. Their half seas were, Luna, you know this ranch like the back of your hand, you go. And I was like, huh? They're like, you got this.
That's some
I was
Scooby-Doo
like-
levels of splitting up.
I was
Yeah,
like,
Shaggy,
I mean,
Scooby, you go over there. Velma, you're on your own, bitch.
one of my cousins has Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Mhm.
And so like she was at that point where she can't really walk that far. So she's like, I can't go.
That's fair.
Fair enough,
The
yeah.
rest of my cousins, like, so they all had like legitimate reasons, and I was like, you can't have the fat, unhealthy cousin go off. Like, what the hell, bitches? Like, I was like, I'm not the most physical capable right now. So I went by myself. I had to walk all the way back, and it's far. And because we have like a total of like a shit ton of acres, like 400 acres or something like that.
Whoa.
So, and we're on the second half, so like obviously I have to go walk through someone else's 100 and something acres to get to like my home cabin. And they got it working, by the way, and they went a different way home thinking that I would take the shortest route. I did take the shortest route. They're just dumb. And I remember slipping, falling into a cattle guard, and immediately hearing like a bunch of rattles and being like, ooh.
Oh no.
Yeah, I got out. I don't think they were that close because they would have bit me if they were. And I was like
That's
right there from home,
terrifying.
so I just walked up to the house and was like, "Hey, there's snakes in the cattle guard. Can I go to sleep now?" And they're like, "Your cousins have been here for like 20 minutes. We were worried about you. Where were you?" And I was like, "Stuck in a cattle guard."
Snakes! Cattle guard! Weren't you listening?
That. Why do you go back?
I love it. It's fun out there.
Built
No
different.
one else is allowed out there because they have to
That's
sign
fair.
a waiver. If you're not family, you have to sign a waiver to go.
Oh
That's fair.
shit.
Yeah, we have
Well,
a
yeah, they-
lawyer in our family now.
Yeah, you don't
The
want to
waiver
get
gets
like.
wild.
Did
Yeah,
someone
you don't
get
want to
fucking
die
Freddy
out there because
Fazbear
mountain
there?
lion.
No,
Mountain
we just
lion.
don't want any liability.
Ah,
Like
fair.
we have,
Hey.
like Texas has like colored sign codes, or no, it's a fence post. So you have, if you paint your fence post a certain color, it means certain things.
Okay.
My lawyer cousin says we should paint them. I think purple is the one he said it was,
Obviously,
which
'cause
is
it's the best color.
trespassers will be shot.
Holy
So-
shit. That escalated.
And the reason, yeah, the reason
It's like
being
purple's a
is,
pretty
like,
color, but if you come on this property, I will shoot you.
It's purely so that no one can come on our property.
Just put up a
it's
sign
one of
that says, trespassers will be fed to the rattlesnakes.
Trespassers Trespassers
speed
will be
limits
fed
set.
to the mountain lion.
And we have speed limit signs now, which is a weird thing to have on a place where you can't trespass.
That is
Yeah.
strange.
But it's apparently also a liability thing. I don't know
yeah.
why. My cousin says we should do the purple ones. I think purely because it would deter people who know the fence code. Not that
Yeah.
we would ever, because I don't think any of my marshmallow family would be like, "Oh no, but they just want water." but you know, it's
They're
there just-
actively shooting at you, but maybe they just want like a cup of coffee.
Just build like a
we
guard tower.
have beer. We have tequila inside. The amount of times my grandfather has invited complete strangers into our house
Oh
and
my
let them
God.
drink tequila is insane. And then they give us stuff. We got like stuff, like a lot of shit at our ranch that we got from people because my grandfather would be like, "Hey, can I pay like this much instead and then give you this much tequila?" And like
Oh my god.
they'd be
mean,
like,
fair
"You know
trade."
what?" Truckers, man, sometimes they're like, "Yeah, I'll drink tequila." Ooh, wait. Maybe my grandpa shouldn't have done that.
Wait. Yeah, that's a good point.
Here's some
Anywho.
tequila.
Good thing it
Have
was
fun
the
on your
70s.
8-hour drive.
Good thing since the 70s. God damn.
For the love of God, do not drink this while you're driving. After.
Don't. And he would let them sleep in the beds. I don't know, man. My grandpa's also paranoid, so I don't know why he did that.
What a guy.
What a
Adrenaline.
guy. I
Interesting
think he just
character.
liked free stuff.
That's like a roller coaster for him.
It is.
He got off with the paranoia. He got off with it by it.
He has bipolar disorder.
There's someone sleeping in my bed.
Oh man. They're on
I'm
my property. I can shoot them.
But I won't. Or will I?
It's a real roller coaster for him, and he just lays in bed. He's like, "But I won't." JK, but maybe. Nah, well. Until they left, and he was like, "Well, I guess it's fine."
I missed my chance.
Just the eternal
Anywho.
dialogue of Gollum and Smeagol going on 24/7.
Yeah. Anywho,
Honestly, I don't think my grandpa cared until the 80s. But like,
fair enough. Anywho,
Mhm.
that has been Filterless.
It has.
Yeah, if you guys enjoyed, tell us by leaving a review. Rate it 5 stars if you think it was worthy of that. Luna, do you have any socials you want to
Plug.
yeah, plug. That's the word.
Yep.
my name is Luna Wither. You can find it as Luna Wither on most social media sites. I don't stream at the moment. I haven't streamed since the whole cancer fiasco. But sparingly, but like honestly. But I do participate in D&D streams on a friend's channel. That's Pie Flavor. I typically link it in my stuff, so you can follow me on Instagram to find out about that.
All of the links that we say, by the way, will be in the episode description for the YouTube video if you guys want to go check that out.
Yep.
If it's in the YouTube video, the YouTube description, I'm just going to copy and paste from there and put it up onto Spotify and Apple Podcasts, so you could probably find them in there too, just so everyone knows.
All right, Kat, what about you? What are your plugs?
You can find me at Dr. Catatonic on everything, because I'm fortunate to have that unique name where no one has it. So, yeah, I stream technically twice a week on Twitch, but it typically ends up being once a day because I get bored. And YouTube content, I'm not posting regularly at the moment, but I hope to post once a week on YouTube. And Ace, what about you?
You can find me at AceofShame pretty much everywhere. I don't really have my own content right now aside from Filterless, but you'll probably find me on Cat streams pretty often.
Yeah. Don't worry, guys. If you guys want to see more of him, let us know in the episode comment for YouTube, and I will pressure him into streaming. 'Cause that's what friends do.
It is what friends do. So thank you everyone so much for listening to Filterless. If you want to follow our socials, we've got a Instagram at Filterless Podcast, a Twitter, The Filterless PC, and a TikTok, The Filterless Podcast. And if you want to send us some topics, feel free to send those to filterlesstopics@gmail.com, and we will be sure to give it a look.
Yeah. And if we don't respond to your email, what did you say, sue us?
I did.
If we don't respond to your email, we probably didn't see it. So
Just
if
DM
it goes
Kat.
like, yeah, DM me on anything or DM the Filterless socials.
Or DM
and that's
Luna
probably
just 'cause it's funny.
Yeah, DM
Aw,
Luna
shit.
just because it's funny.
I do want to mention I don't answer my DMs.
Ah, shit.
Yeah, I know. That was a joke.
I
That was a
mean,
joke.
you're not wrong though.
And this is why I text you and not Instagram anymore.
Instagram, man. I just.
But,
it
yeah.
reminds me of what could have been.
But yeah, if you guys have any topics or things you want us to do for our bonus episodes, which will be next episode, which is Would You Rather,
Yep.
just kind of shoot them our way. Anyways, this has been Filterless. Hope you guys enjoyed. Bye-bye.
That's you, Luna.
Hey, say the thing.
I was letting Luna go first.
Luna, say a thing. Say a goodbye.
Goodbye.
Go fuck
Assholes.
yourselves.
Goodbye, everybody.
Love you, I'm sorry.
I'm not sorry.